Mr. Parth Jindal. Let's give a big round of applause to Parth Jindal. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me introduce you to another guest amongst us. He's a member of Kotak family, a prominent business family in India. He's the son of Uday Kotak, the founder and MD of Kotak Mahindra Bank. As co-head of Kotak 811, Jay Kotak is involved in digital banking platform of Kotak Mahindra Bank. Please put your hands together for co-head Kotak 811, Jay Kotak. Thank you so much for joining us, Jay. Pleasure to have you here. Also joining us on stage is the Executive Director of Muthoot Housing Finance Limited, the affordable housing finance arm of Muthoot Papachan Group. With a focus on corporate strategy and innovation, she's led initiatives across gold loans, affordable housing finance, and auto finance. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Executive Director, Muthoot Housing Finance Company, Susanna Muthoot. Thank you so much for joining us, Susanna. Ladies and gentlemen, you might be surprised. Most of the time you see the ministers and the politicos in the that Lenin dress, seeing in the suit boot, he's the minister. So just making sure he's recognized. Put your hands together, give a big round of applause to Santhosh sir. And the person who needs no introduction, I literally did not introduce, but still we all recognize him, and the minister himself walked him up. I'm talking about the co-founder, Zerodha Trubecon and Grohas. He's a renowned Indian entrepreneur and investor, best known as a co-founder and CEO of Zerodha, India's largest brokerage firm. Co-founded Zerodha in 2010 with his brother Nitin Kamath, and under his leadership, the company has disrupted the traditional brokerage industry in India by offering low-cost and innovative trading solutions. Is also a prominent investor, having invested in several startups across fintech, healthcare, and education sectors. Moreover, is a strong advocate for financial literacy and has been involved in various initiatives to promote financial education in India. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Nikhil Kamath. Let's give a big round of applause. Thank you so much for joining us, Nikhil. Pleasure to have you here. And our Labour Minister, Santhosh, please put your hands together, give a big round of applause to him. So thank you so much for gracing this occasion. All right, the moderator for this wonderful session is Nikhil, who will be taking it forward. Now, clapping brings in a lot of positiveness into the entire hall. Can we make the dignitaries on stage really happy with a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? The stage is all yours, Nikhil.
Maybe we begin by you guys giving us a minute, contextually, outside of the grand introductions that we all have had. Maybe you tell us what you are doing today and what you're focusing on in life. Would you like to go first, Susanna? Sure. Thank you so much. Honorable Minister, would you like to say something?
I come from a business family. My grandfather started mining in Ballari in 1956. He was one of the first lessees. Had an employment of more than 7,500 people. I used to do from limestone to dolomite to manganese to iron ore. I started a sponge iron plant. We were about to set up even a steel plant, Ballari itself. Had a steel plant, set up a sponge iron plant even in Hiriyur in Chitradurga. Started political career at the age of 17. I'm 49 now. I'm a 4 times MLA and a 2nd time minister, and as a second stint I'm a Labour Minister in the government of Karnataka. So likewise from aviation, I started a cargo aviation company early in this, perhaps in the South India. So been into multiple businesses, invested into software, automotive space, aerospace. Been not lucky enough. I started a talent portal very long back before the 3G could come into this country. So something similar on TikTok. So I didn't have great luck on that. Anyway, been on all my life into doing business and politics. Politics is a passion. I've come here. This is all about I am.
Thank you. So let me not set context for today with some very generic questions that are in front of me. I'm from here. I've grown up in Bangalore. We really want more people like Parth, like Jay, like Susanna, to come here, invest more, spend more time building stuff in Bangalore. So maybe I will ask you guys about your individual industries. Tell us what is changing structurally and what might be an opportunity in that industry that one of us can take advantage of, or something that is changing that we don't see. Maybe we can start.
I intentionally came to this so that let me see where I'm connected. Even though I started business very early, you're all the champions here who have been greatly successful in your career and business. As they mentioned into the low-income housing, right? So I still feel if you go to tier 1, tier 2 cities down the line, it is not there technically. So there has to be some homework with the state. As we are all into policy making, you should really get into policy making also, because this country runs largely on a policy making. So if you don't get into policy making, you're all youngsters. I feel you're all the future, business tycoons here. As long as, especially when it comes to housing, financing housing, it has to go to the rural level where we coordinately work with the state and as well as success in the state central government, number one. Number two, the biggest problem today when we talk about loan facility, I never see that the underprivileged or the children who are coming from a very poor background, there is no excess of money for the education. There is no loan. Kamath, you got a better audience and you're all the leaders, and since the tycoons of the banks are here, I think this ought, because the entire human resources is so very important in this country. We have got around 54% of Indians are younger generation, and today brain drain has been there last decade. The brain drain has gone out, so we need to hold the brain drain. We need to educate the people. The education is only can come through the higher education. So if we as a country don't spend more into research and development, the corporates don't come and invest into research and development, so where are we going to build a nation? So along with that, when you were speaking to the steel, so why China is able to compete is 80% of coal, the coking coal is with the China. The ingredient for the production of steel, 70% of ingredient of steel production is based on the coking coal. So China perhaps is the only country which is sitting on a coking coal. That is why it is able to compete with the steel. So last 10 years, if you see, we have been between 120 to 140 million of steel production, whereas China from 350 to 520 it has gone to a billion ton today. It is at a 1 billion ton of a steel production. Number one. Coming to these few points, because I feel that you guys should get into policy making. As long as you don't speak up your mind for the policy making, according to me, because since you have got insight of the futuristic business, it's my humble request to make a point. It's not necessary, don't be very that I'm speaking more politically here, but just I would like to make a point since I've come here. Now you see the patents, what China's patent is 16 lakh patents to India's 64,000. Where are we? We have to speak at some platform, right? So how this can grow if you are not getting into research, development, investment, if it is not going to happen, as a country we are definitely not going to have a big growth. Let's admit somewhere, I personally feel whom we want to compare with. The size of the population of China till now, we are at not even a $4 trillion. China is almost about $20 trillion today. So why I'm throwing this, perhaps you are aware of the statistics and I'm sure that you are aware of these numbers, but as long as you all should make it a point that every state government, when it calls for your investment need, you should throw up your points to say to that state and central should work in synergy, in tandem, to grow as an economy. See, for example, we have got, if I'm not wrong, to the statistics what I was going through today, we have got almost 1.5 lakh startup companies, out of which 10% are successful. Out of around 120 are unicorns. They are not more on IP based. Much are not on IP based. So you know better than me. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to give a lecture here. Somewhere on these lines, I personally feel it's a bonus. So that's why I was proposing. I would rather propose you all here that state governments and central government should start fund of a fund, where state government, central government will put the money into the kitty, where joint venture companies or VC companies will come and big companies should participate in it. So that any money is being given in that particular state, where you are also stakeholder there, so that we can grow the next coming up, which are startup companies can grow in a bigger scale. If government is giving the money as a subsidy, just we don't have a control over it. So I'm making a proposal this year. I feel you've got a greater audience in whole of a country. Please, this fund of fund, where corporates will come and as well as joint venture companies can come, state and center will put the money so that the next generation startups can get money easily and that money stays in this country. Thank you.